Hi, boys and girls. Happy e-learning day. So today we are going to be doing a little bit of diving into the Chinese New Year, what that looks like, and a little bit of what that means. And so today we are going to be reading a little passage, and then we're going to be answering some questions about that. So you're going to want to make sure that you do have your All About the Chinese New Year paper. First and foremost, we're going to write our name on the top, first and last name, making sure that we are writing uppercase letters at the very beginning and lowercase letters to start. And making sure that we have a finger space in between our first and our last name. So we are going to go ahead and get started with reading. Then we are going to go on a high frequency word hunt, and then we are going to answer the comprehension questions. So here is the title, All About the Chinese New Year. The directions say to read the passage and answer the questions. So it says, Chinese New Year, also known as Spring Festival, is the most important holiday in China. It happens on a different day each year based on the lunar calendar. 2024 is the year of the dragon. It begins on the 10th of February and lasts for 15 days. The celebration ends with the Lantern Festival. All right, so Chinese New Year, also known as is a high frequency word. So we're going to use a yellow crayon, something yellow, something that represents just kind of like a highlighter. If you have a highlighter, then great. But what I do with my yellow crayon is I just color over that high frequency word. So also known as Spring Festival is a high frequency word. The high frequency word. Most important holiday in China. It is a high frequency word. It happens on is also a high frequency word. A high frequency word. Different day is a high frequency word. Each year based on the lunar calendar. 2024 is the year of the dragon. It begins on the 10th of February and lasts for 15 days. I'm just going to color the day part of days. The celebration ends with the Lantern Festival. So going on the high frequency hunt is really going to help us. Obviously, there's some bigger words in this paragraph that maybe we don't know, and this is why it's important to listen to an adult read. But having that high frequency word knowledge is also just going to break down our passage. So it does make it a little bit easier to just recognize those high frequency words, even in a bigger setting, recognizing those high frequency words and realizing how important it is that we do have words that we recognize, because it does help us become readers. So I'm going to read that passage aloud one more time, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into our comprehension questions. So it says, Chinese New Year, also known as Spring Festival, is the most important holiday in China. It happens on a different day each year based on the lunar calendar. 2024 is the year of the dragon. It begins on the 10th of February and lasts for 15 days. The celebration ends with the Lantern Festival. So it says, what season does the Chinese New Year fall on? Does it fall in winter, fall, spring, or summer? So we know if it happens in February, if you think of what season it is outside right now, I know that it's going to be a cold month. So I know that it's not going to necessarily be fall. It's not going to be spring just yet, and it's certainly not going to be summer. So the season that we're currently in is winter. So this is where we're going to take our pencil and we're going to fill in the bubble. Similar to if you've taken your math tests, we fill in the bubble with our answer. All right, question number 2. Does the Chinese New Year happen on the same day each year? So it begins on the 10th of February and lasts for 15 days. So yes, it does. All right. Question number 3. How many days does the Chinese New Year celebration last for? So up here it says it begins on the 10th of February and lasts for 15 days. So we're getting our answer from reading in the passage. So we're going to underline lasts for 15 days. That is where we got our answer. So it gives you the option 10 days or 15 days. It's trying to trick us a little bit because we know that it starts on the 10th of February, but it does say here that it lasts for 15 days. So even though we see numbers here, it's important to reference where it is actually that we found the answer. So we're going to fill in that bubble next to 15 days. And then it says, number 4, what is the festival that marks the end of the Chinese New Year? So it says the celebration ends with the Lantern Festival. So there's our answer again. We're just going to look up here and we're going to write it the best that we can. I know it's kind of a small space, so feel free to add some words down here if necessary. But we're going to just copy what it says. So it says Lantern Festival. Okay. So that is just a little bit about the Chinese New Year, what it looks like this year. If you wanted to dive a little bit deeper in reference to what the Year of the Dragon actually means, then you can feel free to go ahead and do that. I know that ultimately we have a lot of fun things that we're going to be learning about the Chinese New Year, and even Mrs. Wong is going to be helping us in regards to that. So if you have not yet watched some videos and some information from Mrs. Wong, then definitely do that. But yeah, we will see you again after our learning day. Thank you.